Hi, I'm Beth, and this is a continuation of my series of taking 2 weeks of freeze-dried food, complete menus, breakfast, lunch, supper, desserts, and snacks, as well as beverages. And today I'm going to talk very briefly, this will be a short video, on how I freeze-dry soup and how I rehydrate it. Now, everything I'm going to say today regarding soup can be dehydrated or you can freeze dry this, but this series is about freeze drying. What I did is I simply took my favorite soup recipe, my favorite vegetable beef barley soup in this particular case, but you can use any kind of soup, you can use canned soups. My only word of caution would be if you have a soup that's really high in fat, try and remove as much of the fat as you can because fats can go rancid over the long term. But basically what I did is I took my soup, my recipe of soup, made homemade soup, and I put that in trays, and let me show you how you should probably consider putting anything liquid in your trays when you're going to freeze dry it. I find the best way when you're working with liquids and you want to freeze them in your freeze dryer is to put the trays in your freezer and then pour the liquids directly into the trays, making sure that they're level. So the vegetable soup is in the freezer. It's going to freeze for 24 hours, and then we'll move it to the freeze dryer. My soup is frozen solid and is now going into the freeze dryer. Once I put it in the freeze dryer and I partitioned mine off, I ended up with freeze-dried soup, which is completely edible this way. I mean, you can break this apart really easily, and you can eat it this way if you want to. If you eat a lot of freeze-dried food, though, you should probably have some water, simply because otherwise this is going to pull moistures from your body. I then packaged my soup in 7 milliliter Mylar bags in different serving sizes and added the appropriate oxygen absorber so that I can store this long term. Now, when you store your food long term and you add an oxygen absorber, keep in mind that oxygen is only about 21% of your air. So when you put it in an oxygen absorber, it's not going to be like vacuum sealing. It's still going to feel like you have something in here. But light and moisture and oxygen are what determine the longevity of your food, and a proper Mylar bag and a proper oxygen absorber will allow you to keep your food. So this is probably good for 25 years, even though it has some meat in it. I did defat most of my meat. So to rehydrate this is really simple. In my soup, I have barley, corn, onion, carrots, green beans, meat, and tomatoes, I think were the main thing. And I'm going to put this in a glass container just so that it's easier for you to see. I'm trying not to do this. You can see this breaks apart really easily. It's lightweight, it's great for camping, it's great for just having on hand and simple simple quick meals. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put this into a pint-sized jar so you can see what's happening. Now, meat will only absorb the moisture that it needs, so that's not a problem. And soups are really the easiest things you possibly can rehydrate. I have some boiling water, and I'm just going to add that, and you can see that the soup is disintegrating almost instantly. Now, this is not a full serving of soup. This is a partial serving. I didn't want to use the whole thing, but basically, almost just that quick, I have my soup, but I of course want to rehydrate it, meaning I want the corn and the beans and the meat and everything to get soft. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my boiling water on, I'm going to cover it, and then I'm going to wait for just a couple of minutes. So I'm going to be right back to tell you how long it took. My soup is ready to eat, and actually still too hot almost to eat. It took 2.5 minutes for everything to rehydrate, including my meat and vegetables. Now, one of the things you want to do as much as possible is keep your vegetables about the same size, your carrots about the same thickness, and my pieces of meat were not any bigger than my sliced up carrots. But this is absolutely perfect. It's steaming hot. And it tastes just like fresh soup. This is a great way to have lunch or dinner on hand, whether you've got a big crowd or serving for one. So, kind of rule one, if you're doing soup, go ahead and add hot water. Soup is something you're definitely usually going to eat hot. If you're going to do a gazpacho or something like a cold soup, then add cold water, but keep in mind that it will take longer to rehydrate than the hot water. But this is really good. This is a win. If you like this video, thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe though to my channel, because I'm going to be going through 14 days of breakfast, lunch, dinner, dessert, and snacks. And even if you don't watch all of the videos, you might see lasagna, or you might see yogurt bites, or you might see something of interest, and I'm breaking down the components of each meal so the videos don't get too long. So this is a win. I have my day one pretty much complete. Be sure to watch my next video, which is going to be the cheesecake bites and the cheesecake dessert and the yogurt bites, which really completes the snack and the dessert for my day one menu. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.